I always make music for this fake audience I have in my head. So when I impress this audience in my head, that means it's ready. And I always hope that the listener agrees with this audience in my head. When an artist starts making art more so for the consumer opposed to themselves, I feel that after a while, their ability to understand what's progressive starts to vitiate. And in order to be progressive, as an artist, it's your job to tell other people what's dope. It's not their job to tell you what's dope. Essentially, the world that I wanted to create for the There's Only Now album was to take the listener back to a time when I was really excited about hip hop. You know, and to me that was during what I refer to as a golden era. And to me it's like around 88 to like 96, within that time frame. The reason why I chose to do this album with Souls of Mischief is, first of all, I'm a big fan of Souls of Mischief. When they released 93 Till Infinity in 93, it was one of those albums that really spoke to me because I saw a group of individuals that were just like myself. At the time, you had so many artists that I loved that were hot, doing some quintessential hip hop music, but a part of me couldn't necessarily identify with all of them because I wasn't banging on the streets and I wasn't selling cocaine on the streets of New York, you know what I'm saying? So with Souls of Mischief, they talked about wearing fly clothes and talking to chicks and just being part of that hip hop subculture. They spoke to me as a person and I really identified with them. So much so that I knew every single word on the record. On the heels of me making the Ghostface album, I was contacted by A+ on Twitter. And he hit me and said, yo, we'd be interested in you working with us to do an album. And I was actually humbled and flattered. And I took the challenge because my Ghostface 12 Reasons to Die album was more of an Italian horror vintage cinematic album that RZA would have done in the late 60s. But this album was supposed to be more so of a native tongue type Tribe meets Black Sheep meets Souls of Mischief meets Bobby Humphrey, Bob James, and Herbie Hancock type album, you know what I'm saying? I've never done anything like that. I wanted to have the Souls of Mischief capture that passion that they had around the same time that they did 93 Till Infinity. We created a whole concept album that takes place around 1994. And it takes place around the time that an actual incident actually happened to Souls of Mischief. They were threatened by an individual for reasons that are discussed on the album, but their life was basically threatened. They almost died, all of them, on one night. And we basically conceived an album around that entire event. Ali Shaheed from Tribe narrates the story in a way that's analogous to the female DJ that narrated the story in The Warriors. You know what I'm saying? This story is supposed to resemble the feeling of watching The Warriors. That's how I feel when I listen to the music. It's a journey. I believe that we are at a point in music, and this is just soul music in general, hip-hop being a subsect of that, where a lot of people are not progressing at a rate that they once were. Because of the fact that we're in this age of the computer, anybody can make music. And when you have anybody making music, you have non-musicians making music. When you have non-musicians making music that's actually creating revenue for major labels, there is an inevitable lack of cultivation. Everybody just is doing the same thing. Everybody has rolling hi-hats. Everybody has their snare the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of the same shit. And I mean, I'm speaking from an angle of an uneducated person as far as it comes to modern music, because I really don't educate myself as to what is going on. But from stuff I hear, there's so many people doing the same thing that I feel a lot of it is saturated, and that's another reason why I just don't even dive into a lot of modern music. I'm sick of it. So cats like Pro Era with Joey Badass and Action Bronson and a lot of these other, for purposes of this discussion, underground artists, they speak to the people that are sick of the saturation because they're doing something different. They're doing something that touches on that golden era nostalgia, but not just to go back and say, hey, we're old school rappers. They're going back to make music with that kind of passion that those MCs, those producers had back then, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate cats like those. I love them. I don't follow trends, so I don't listen to other people when I'm making my music. Because of that, I get to do whatever I want to do. If it was about listening to other people and trying to make crazy amounts of money doing a bunch of stuff, I would just look at the charts, see who's selling the most, and try my hardest just to do music with them, you know? But to me, I just like to do music with people that really speak to me.
I pray this feeling never leaves me, I want it forever. And I'll do anything to see that we always together. Whatever it takes for something that no one can sever. Together, forever, whatever it takes for something that no one can sever. And I'll do anything to see that we always together. Forever, together, together.